Okay, it's this button.
Can you do it? I
Yep.
have it recorded.
Okay, remember I have no pants on, so.
Don't tell her that.
Oh, is it recording?
Yes.
Jake reviews Iron Man. Happy Thanksgiving, Miss Cormier. Movie opens with Marvel logo. Start of MCU Cinematic Universe. In the dessert, credit and AC/DC playing. Pretty good so far. Army driving Tony Stark drinking and flirting with Army woman. Small talk and joking. Soldier asks Tony if he slept with these 12 models.
Dad,
Yes, impossible uncover had twins.
you don't think she actually saw your dick, right?
Shows mild interest in bombing even though killed all soldiers violently. Not bad for 2008 and PG-13. Downey calling for help. I'd call him Tony Stark if played him, but playing different version of himself. Not like fans of this movie like it because of Tony Stark, but because got wet dream, watered down version of Downey. Yes, he is called Tony Stark in this movie. Tony is bleeding cause went through bulletproof vest. Surrounded by terrorists that are on camera recording stuff, mysterious figure. Showing 36 hours earlier in Las Vegas. Introduced to Tony's character, thinking already happened in film but they are not thinking straight. Heads up their ass, but Downey signed contract so didn't have problem with it. Talking about how brilliant Tony is instead of showing us. Became CEO of his dad's company after Obadiah Stane took care of company. Yes, Miss Cormier, sounds like a supervillain name, introduced to his best friend. Tony doesn't show up so Stane accepts award and makes speech on behalf of Stark. Best part and worst part of him is he's always working. But see Tony gambling, surrounded by beautiful women. Tony now has award, he's now wearing a suit. Reporter enters picture, dick jokes while flirting and talking about science and death and military. Now they're having sex. Downey makes cartoon clown sound, like original clown from IT when he laughs. See big shot of house, introduced to Pepper Potts and I. Looking at his stuff, exciting, not boring. Tony working on car that will get thrown away in second installment. Old, nice car. Ha 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 ha, I can't resist, have to make cocaine joke. Downey through entire 2 hours looks like he's suffering from cocaine and hangover. I love how not interested Downey is not interested. Beautiful girl talking and he's not interested. Tony's supposed to have constant thing for the ladies. Except Pepper, although they did a little flirtiness. Tony drove expensive car at airport. They're talking while doing business. Him and best friend drunk. Rhodey talking about problems. Tony ignoring him. Pole dancing. Very short. Can't enjoy candy. Tony makes lame speech before introducing weapon to fire. Weapon is called the Jericho. Talking to Stane. Upset not wearing pajamas he got him. Best friend tells him did nice job. Now see what happened. Silent Hill vibe, great horror series. Great video game franchise. Guy working on his heart. Taking out pieces of bomb from heart. Guy explaining what happened caused happened in shaky cam. Tony pulls long string out of his nose. Revealed to us his car battery is keeping his heart running. He has asked what he did to him when clearly it saved his life. Showing him bottle of shrapnel. Explains how this magnet keeping shrapnel out of his heart. He says how they met before but Tony was drunk so he doesn't remember. Terrorists wants him to build him a Jericho. So they torture him to get him to do it. He sees his weapons. Tony says no again after bad guys explain he has everything he needs to build Jericho. Guys giving him speech. Tony says no matter what they're going to kill them. They're dismantling Jericho. Bad guys are watching on camera. Finds out name is Yeltsin and says nice to meet him. He's working on thing to power his heart. Takes forever. Says could run his heart for 15 lead times or more likely in some cases 15 minutes. Shows him picture of Mark 1 says it's their ticket out of there. Put in thing for his heart. Working on legs. Now playing games. They got the chest done. Terrorist says doesn't look anything like picture. One says picture is backwards. Tony got legs done for the Iron SSN suit and the thing get the Jericho. Big bad guy, supposed to be main bad guy. He's not, he gets killed off. Bad guy sees the blueprint, the picture. Tony's partner saying trying very hard, very difficult. They're going to kill him. Tony says he needs him as an assistant. Have until tomorrow to build Jericho. Have dramatic lead, pounding and pounding like 93 Iron Man cartoon chauffeur theme song. Close-up shots of Iron Man mask. Tony is suiting up. Can't see where Stark is on the camera. Big door to explode if open it, and it did. All bad guys ready to kill him. Guy grabs machine gun and shoots in cave to buy Tony some time. He's shooting everything but bad guys on purpose. Then he's like, holy shit, they cornered me. Suit loaded up and wondering what took out the guys. This actually cool scene to watch and get first look at Iron Suit Mark 1. It's actually badass. He gets stuck. Shoots him in head and bullet bounces off armor. Big bad guy already dead. Tony tells friend to get up and needs to see his family. He tells Tony they're dead and going to see them in heaven. Friend tells him not to waste his life before he dies. Iron Man flamethrower everyone after they shot at him. It didn't work at all. Boys, it's fun to watch. Action scene that's been going on for a while is actually fun. Maybe it's going to turn around. It won't. Iron Man flies off, out of batteries. Lands in desert. Tony is walking through desert. His best friend in the army find him. Even in one shot, neither one of his arms is broken. In next shot, one arm is broken. Or he got shot in shoulder, for dramatic effect. Pepper wants him to go to the hospital. He wants a cheeseburger street and then a press conference. Stain happy to see Tony, as is everyone. Here where Pepper Potts meets Agent Coulson before title shield. Want to know what's funny, Miss Cormier? In this movie, haven't come UP with title shield. In Agent Carter show they already came up with name. Amazing how there is no energy in film. Truly amazing. Miss Cormier, having dad type this, we're going to call it a night. Miss Cormier, it's Wednesday night, good night. Coulson wants to debrief Stark about his escape. Tony tells press to sit down. Tony, grieving over, never got to say goodbye to his father. Talking about his dad. Shutting down weapons manufacturing division. Talking about the arc reactor. Looking into it. Cut to Pepper Potts watching TV. Tony asking Pepper to give him a hand. He makes an Operation reference. He says doing this is like Operation. Just don't let metal touch the sides. Otherwise it is perfectly safe. She digs in and pulls out magnet. He's going into cardiac arrest and she asks him not to ask him ever to do something like that again. He says he doesn't have anyone else. Romantic moment. Can tell that by music. Actually best part of movie. He says he not nostalgic, so DOESNT want to keep the old reactor. Tony teasing best friend. Tony wanted Rhodey to be in on Iron Man suit but he doesn't want to. Tony working on Iron Man suit. Tony as throwing away stuff. Terrorists digging up his suit. Big bad guy still alive. Tony working on leg to needing a test pilot. Doing 10% thrust capacity and hurts himself. Tony working on flight stabilizer. Completely harmless. So, Tony song something about company, being responsible, new direction. I'm not following it. He doesn't want Obadiah to come down and see what he's working on. He started at 1% instead of 10 thrust capacity for power. He puts on higher setting and he flies. Now he suits up in the Mark II. This good scene. Scanning everything. Iron Man armor. Says you gotta run before you walk. Ignore flight calculations. He's flying around Carnival and kid sees him. Okay, so far this is all cool stuff. Armor freezes up and he's falling. Finds a way to break ice. Tony's having good time with the suit. Looks like a lot of fun. Falls all the way into the basement when he kills the power. AI device blows fire extinguisher on him cause thinks he's on fire. Car alarms going off. He sees his old heart reactor. Wrote on it Tony Stark really has a heart. Terrorists reassembling old Iron Man suit. Using gold ratio alloy from a space station in case he wants to visit other planets. Throw some hot rod red in suit. Jarvis says that should help you keep a low profile. So he goes to party that no one expecting him to arrive at. Obadiah shocked to see him as his rest of the crowd. Sir Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, Tony Stark. I don't care. Runs into the person he's been playing Hefner, but it's Stan Lee. Is Lee playing Hefner, surrounded by two attractive girls. Tony Stark runs into Agent Coulson. You see, in the comics, Tony and Pepper flirt but never date. In movie, Tony got her birthday gift that shows how attractive she is. So they decide to dance. So they're flirting while finding out how useless how Tony is without Pepper. So they're talking gibberish how he's her boss. It's wrong, romantically way possible. They almost kiss. Both ask for vodka martini. Pepper wants dry one and Tony dirty. Tony meets girl he doesn't remember that he slept with. His company sold weapons to terrorists. He tells girl he's not his company. Found out Obadiah convinced Ford to push him out. Toby testing suit and blowing things up. And all very dramatically to add to the coolness factor. And it kinda does. Now he's suiting up. Boy does the armor look cool. A bunch of people are being killed and terrorized by the terrorists. Father being taken from his family. Iron shows up and kicking ass. He pulls a terrorist through the wall like RoboCop. Iron Man takes off, blows up weapons and more weapons. Rhodey called down
Dad,
the
I think there's
military
something
office.
wrong with your computer.
Tony talks to Rhodey about problem.
Now.
He doesn't tell Rhodey the truth. How can pilots can't tell it's a person in an iron suit? Iron Man is getting shot. Iron Man hiding on them. Calling his best buddy. Admits.
What happened? What was it?
I don't know, it just starts sounding funny.
Oh, okay.
It just started talking like that. Can you hurry up?
I'm trying. Whereabouts was it again?
Huh?
Whereabouts was it?
I would know if I heard it talk.
Okay.
You know I
Found out
can't.
Obadiah convinced Ford to push him out. Toby testing suit and blowing things up. And all very dramatically to add to the coolness factor. And it kinda does.
At the party.
He's suiting up. Boy does the armor look cool. A bunch of people are being killed and
Tony at the
terrorized by
party.
the terrorists. Father being taken from
A little
his
past
family.
that part.
Iron shows up and kicking ass. He pulls a terrorist through the wall like RoboCop. Iron Man takes off, blows up weapons and more weapons. Rhodey calls down to military
No, just
office.
like leave it like this.
Tony talks to Rhodey about
This is
problem.
perfect.
He doesn't tell Rhodey the truth. How can pilots can't tell it's a person in an iron suit? Iron Man is getting shot. Iron Man hiding on them. Calling his best buddy. Admits it's him, not a piece of equipment. One of the pilot's wings went out. Parachute jammed. Iron Man rushes to save him. Rhodey tells Tony he owes him a plane. Tony says tell the press a training exercise. Usual BS. Rhodey tells press that Obadiah has this evil look on his face. That's when you know he's the main villain of the movie. Tony's getting undressed from armor and Pepper sees him. He sees, let's face it, this isn't the worst thing you've caught me doing. She asks if those are bullet holes. Obadiah drives to talk to terrorists. Music that shows he's the villain. Main big bad guy wants to negotiate business. Tells guys outside to shoot him. Obadiah says take tech and kills terrorists. Tony Stark turns into Batman. Next mission is the only thing. The next mission. Sounds a lot like Batman talk. Pepper quits. Tony says she stood by him when he put people in harm's way and now he's doing opposite. She's walking out. She said he's going to kill himself and she won't be part of it. So, Pepper decides she doesn't want to quit. Says he's all that she has too. Pepper goes into Stain's office. So she can see what Obadiah's been up and his ideas are company. Finding out terrorists making video for Obadiah. She's downloading all the hard drive and distracting Obadiah. Obadiah talking very creepy. How can no one tell that the way Obadiah is acting is very strange? Agent Coulson shows up to meet Pepper Potts and tells him to come with her. Tony getting call from Pepper Potts. Obadiah uses device on Tony. Takes out his reactor. Tony finds out Obadiah ordered it on him. Obadiah says his prototype suit not as conservative as Tony's. Obadiah says too bad he involved Pepper cause he would have preferred she lived. Pepper tells Rhodey about Obadiah. Pepper tells Rhodey to check on him. Tony makes his way downstairs very slowly. Hears his heartbeat slow down. He can't get the heart reactor. His idiot drone gave it to him. Tony says good boy. Too bad his idiot drone
Check
isn't
on
another
Tony.
Iron Man movies.
It
Has
is.
more character than Tony Stark.
She's,
Obadiah put the arc
his friend
reactor
checked
in
on
the Ironmonger
Tony.
suit. The Ironmonger
I forgot
suit's
to put
supposed
it
to be
in.
blue and not gray. Would have been cooler than what we got. 5 agents going with Pepper to arrest Obadiah. Tony says that's not going to be enough. Tony suits up, tells Rhodey to keep skies clear, and flies off. Rhodey says next time, same suit Rhodey uses to fight Iron Man in second movie. Pepper telling us what audience already knows. She already knew. This fight is lame. This final scene seems a little staged. Rhodey says not necessary, just a training exercise when they're going to scramble jets to stop Iron Man. Tony tricked him with the icing problem. Tony took off other blasters so little defenseless. Obadiah is squeezing Tony and destroying the armor. He tells Potts to blast the roof with overloading reactor in order to take Obadiah down. Obadiah shot all glass from roof down. Pepper says he'll die if she hits the button. Tony says he doesn't care. She hits the button. Flashes of his arc reactor is going on. Agent Coulson tells him to stick with notes, not his first rodeo. Pepper thinks strategic, but Agent says just call them S.H.I.E.L.D. Pepper knows the night Tony asks I she think about it. Tony says not right to make wild accusations that he is a superhero. She says that she didn't say that Rhodey
Dad,
was
what
for
is
in
it?
his ear to get to the cards.
I heard
Tony
a
says
slap.
he's Iron Man. Now listening, please
Why
see
did you
DC's
slap?
best part of the movie. After the credits, Nick Fury says to Tony Stark that there is going to an Avengers.
And that's it. Look at the Christmas tree. Isn't it beautiful, Miss Konya? 5 optic lights. Yeah, look at this. A rainbow Christmas star.